and it was the backside of Brandon Moore that knocked the ball out.
How does this keep happening?
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets and not some slap team.
The Jets. That's not going to go that smoothly.
Feel the same way I feel about your Jets making the playoffs or even being competitive in December, sir.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
And for a few factors here. So I think the Broncos will win this game. It's a similar
I think we're going to win this game on the defense end, kind of like we did today. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be ugly. But I do think we squeak out a close game. I'm going to say 14-10.
Ooh. Breece is out, torn ACL. AVT is gone. He has a tricep that's going to require surgery, so he's done for the year.
It's the most bittersweet that I've ever had for a victory Monday, honestly. It's like you save up all this money to buy this nice car, and then you remember you don't have a license. It's like it just feels weird because it's like I finally got what I wanted, but I just can't enjoy it right now. I'm trying to stay positive, though. A lot of things to get to this episode. But let's first introduce my co-host, Mr. Bearded Fanatic. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing amazing. Ready to talk some Jets football.
And our special guest, Mr. Italy Jet himself. He hosts the NYJ podcast, hosts the TFC Midwest podcast for those MLS soccer lovers. And you can find them on Twitter and IG at Italy_Jet. How are you doing, Italy?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk some football, ready to connect, and I love what you guys do. I subscribed to your channel a while ago, and you guys are doing great stuff. Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate that. Now, before we get rolling on the current Jet stuff, which I'm really looking forward to talking, before we started recording, we did have a small conversation, and then I found out that you are not from the Northeast. You are from St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis,
sir.
Missouri, was it?
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm really intrigued as to how somebody from St. Louis, Missouri becomes a Jets fan, because, you know, when you hear like a displaced fan, it's either they moved from a certain area or it's they're a Cowboys fan, a Patriots fan, a Packers fan, a Steelers fan.
Well,
but for somebody to subject themselves to being a Jets fan from a distance by choice, I need to hear how this happened.
Right. You could technically be the epitome of a battered fan because you're not even from there and you're still cheering them on. So by all means,
to be battered. I gotta hear this.
Yes.
I'm dying to know.
Well, this is kind of like the hot topic with me. Everyone always asks me this question, and I love telling it because my story is very interesting, and people don't believe me sometimes. So it's really funny how this will go. So my dad his name is John Pagano. He's from St. Louis as well, and he worked for the St. Louis Rams for 25 to 30 years, traveled with the team, went to London with them as well when they were there. He's been to every single stadium except all the new ones that came out in the last 5 years. But he worked with them, had a great reputation with them, and that's when he brought me on to work for the St. Louis Rams. They're like street team, you know, the flag guys that are on the field and at the end of the end zone. I was one of those guys as well. And then I just did playoff games as well in the earlier seasons, not the whole season. I sucked the whole time. But it was still pretty fun. I worked for them for about 10 years. Then they moved. Stan Kroenke, they moved back to LA, and then I didn't have a job anymore. So then I worked for the St. Louis Blues for a year and a half. Same thing, street team, flag guy, stuff like that. And then I worked for the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, I only did one away game on the field. And then the following year, me and my dad, we did the same thing. So me and my dad worked away games, just one of them, for 2 years, one each. And it was really fun. But the thing was, I'm a Jets fan. I've been an in-closet Jets fan since I was 9.
Ooh, that's a great way to do it. In-closet.
In-closet Jets fan since I was 9 because I was working for the Rams. I couldn't show my team spirit. So basically, I saw them play when Mark Sanchez was here, when they had LT, Jason Taylor, you know, the year with Rex Ryan, when Revis came back and everything. I saw them up close as a flag guy. I'll never forget this. I was at the end of the end zone, and I'm seeing all my favorite players come out. I'm seeing my team come out, and I'm working for the Rams. I would literally miss some cues because I'm cheering for the Jets so hard I almost got tired. It was really, really fun. I really enjoyed my Rams experience, really enjoyed the sports experience. But the reason why I became a Jets fan, because my dad, every time I got an allowance, he would give me one of these. one of these McFarlane figures. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
have ever seen
Oh,
these.
I used to
Yeah,
love
yeah.
collecting
I
those.
have-
No,
I
I used
have
to
a
love
few.
collecting those.
Yeah.
I have 150 to 175 McFarlane figures.
Jesus
My
Christ.
dad gave them to me all the time. He got me all my favorite Jets players, and he even got me the Joe Namath when they won the Super Bowl
Oh,
too.
that's
So
awesome.
so it was really cool.
I
you
got
got?
this one right here.
Oh, you got the big one. I like it.
Yeah, without the
like
helmet on.
I like it. I like it.
So wait. But how did they become
up?
your team? Like, how do you choose to root for a
Right.
bad team?
So getting more into the story, when
Yeah.
my dad would give me all these McFarlane figures, he only gave me Jets. He gave me Jets for like 4 or 5 months. And then all the video games that I played, I had a PS2,
Yeah.
an Xbox One. I even had GameCube and stuff, all the old retro, even Sega. I love Sega.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I would always choose the Jets. My favorite players were always on there. Joe Namath, Wayne Corbett, Lavernius Cole, Santana Moss. I mean, even Curtis Martin and even one of my boys, LT. So, like, all these favorite players were on the team. But when I was in high school and going into my 20s, they were good. So I was like, okay, this is great. It's only been the last 11 years, but they're like, crap.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
Was your dad a closet Jets fan as well?
no, he keeps telling me every single day that he doesn't know where he went wrong. Being in any types of team, all my teams, and they're not St. Louis related at all. So it's really, really funny. But yeah, that's how I became a Jets fan.
That's
Through
awesome.
McFarlane figures, watching a bunch of tape on them, and all my favorite players were there at the right time with video games and McFarlane figures.
Fair enough.
And I mean, not to get too far into the weeds because we want to talk Jets now, but is your
What's
dad
up?
still a Rams fan?
So that's like kind of like a sore topic in our family because my brother-in-law is a Rams fan and my sister's a bandwagon Bills fan. And then my dad is cheering for like the Jets and Rams a little bit and also with the Bills a little bit. He just wants to make everybody happy.
He's literally bipartisan as much as he can be.
Exactly. My mom don't give a crap. So it's just it's really divided right now. But overall, he does like it when the Jets win because he knows how much I love it. And I'm a content creator like you guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Well, that's really
Yeah.
cool, man. That's really cool. I feel for you that you chose. I mean, in a way, I chose it also because I chose it over the Giants. But I mean,
Yes.
I had two options. You basically had a whole league. I don't know. I
had
give
a
it to
whole
you. I
league.
give it to you. I give it to you. So, like you said, the last 11 years have been really rough, but
Yes, sir.
it looks like things are finally on the uptick. Now, I'll ask you first, Italy. What did you think of Sunday's game? I know it was ugly, but it was still a dub. What did you think of this game overall?
Overall, I mean, a lot of people, content creators, everyone in the Jets community, it was going to be very ugly. I mean, the Broncos have a top 5, a top 7 elite defense in the entire league. They keep the offenses at least 16 points, maybe to 17 points. They're very good against the pass. They're very good against the run. I mean, when you add Surtain, Chubb, and all the rest of those guys, I mean, it's very hard to stop them. It's just their offense is not clicking. Their offense sucks. Let's be honest. And Wilson is carrying his baggage from the Seahawks to the Broncos. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of trades are going to happen for them. But overall, we were in a position that we needed to capitalize on the teams that suck right now. That's always been the Jets' hardest thing against the Packers and against us. We did. It was ugly. It was not good, but we did. And that's all I ask.
Well, and Manny, I know you didn't get to watch the game because you were on your way to the Dolphins game, but I'm sure you watched the highlights. Maybe you watched the all 22. What did you think of this game? I know you thought that the Broncos might somehow eke out a win, but obviously the Jets ended up squeaking out that win. What did you think of the game?
When I watched the all 22, I saw a lot of interesting things. The most interesting factor was that the reason I thought it was going to be a close game was because of your offense and Zach Wilson's inabilities to be able to break this defense down, and then their offense with Russell Wilson, because at the time we thought Russell Wilson might play. I said the only reason I give you the leverage of losing this game is because Russell Wilson is a veteran quarterback. Nobody trusts in Brett Ripien or whatever his face is. If I would have known that going into it, I probably would have picked the Jets to win, just with the score being the opposite way. Right. But dude, I watched that game, and I told you last week, Danny, that if you guys sneak this win out, I'd go on the record and say I think you guys are going to be pretty good down the road, even competing for in the hunt spot come December, because what you want to see from your team is elite defense, and you guys were very elite on the defensive side of the ball. You were bending a little bit. Jerry Jeudy caught 96 yards on you guys. Sauce Gardner was following him a little bit, but for the most part, you shut that team down. Again, Brett Rypien is your quarterback. Right. Brett Rypien threw the ball for 225 yards, but that was literally garbage time stats at the end of the game. He's trying to make something happen. But what I saw was a very good Jets defense literally keep pinning the Broncos into bad situations and giving you guys the ball back to take advantage and get the dub.
I think that age-old adage, good teams find a way to win.
Yeah,
I think that applies here. The offense was obviously struggling. Zach Wilson still hasn't found his footing this season, but we found a way to win.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that obviously lies on Breece Hall's shoulders, the way he scored that 60-something yard run. Like, without that, I don't know if we get in the end zone. So obviously that helped a lot, but we won. We figured a way to win. We're now 5-2. Like you say, Manny, all the time, you are what your record says you are, and we're 5-2 right now. We're literally tied with the Chiefs as the best record in the AFC right now. And I don't care what anybody says. Nobody saw this. I personally thought that we would win 8 to 9 games this season, but I didn't think we would have a chance to go to 6 wins before the bye. I didn't see that at all.
And you're on the cusp right now from 3 games away of hitting the total of what you thought you were going to hit. And there are some winnable games for your team left in this long season. So,
well, the reason I thought that we would get 9 wins is because I thought we would figure out a way to win 3 to 4 before the bye, and then the second half of the season gets really soft. And you know how as the season goes on, things change. Teams look better than they did. Teams look worse than they were supposed to. But that soft schedule still basically looks soft.
Yeah,
like those teams that we thought were going to be soft haven't improved much. So all we've done is just take care of the teams that we thought we might lose against, whether they're weak now or whatever. We took care of those teams, and then the second half of the schedule still looks kind of soft. So I if we find a way to not win 9 games, I'll be thoroughly disappointed, because at this point, all we need is 4 wins. We go 4-6, and we still hit 9 wins. So we need to find a way to get to at least 9, and that's at least 9. That's like a minimum, because I feel like, and I know we're gonna get into it later in the episode, but this Patriots game is a must-win. But again, we'll get into that later. But okay, so moving on. So we win this game. Good teams find a way to win.
Yep.
But we're a good team because we have a good young core.
Yep.
But we lost 2 of our key cornerstones in this offense. We lost what I believe is the best player on our team this year, Elijah Vera Tucker. Not that nobody talks about him, but when you talk about the best player on the team, not many people usually bring up the offensive lineman. But to me, he was the best player on the team up until now. And then you use Breece Hall, literally the face of the team up until this point this year. He was going to probably win Rookie of the Year. He was going to be a Pro Bowler. And we lost both of them in a span of 2 quarters. Where does that leave us now? I'll go to you first, Manny. Do you think that we're now in a position in which we can't, like we were just talking about how we need to get to at least 9 wins? Do you think these 2 losses to our team will jeopardize us as far as continuing to play the way we've been playing?
Well, I already knew about the injuries while I made my last comment in the first topic that we talked about. And the reason I don't think it's going to affect you guys that much is because Michael Carter was a stud last season. Michael Carter now is going to have that lead role back, which he shouldn't have lost. I think he should have been the majority, but let's be honest. I was also in the Breece Hall bandwagon saying this guy is a stud. Like, I'm waiting for that breakout game. Lo and behold, it sucks. The breakout game was against us. But, dude, he's looked really nice. And I told you, I felt like texting you right away when I saw that man break on that Packers defense for that 60-plus yard run. I was like, damn, this kid is legit. But, yeah, big loss on your offensive line because you're already dealing with a tic-tac-toe offensive line of plugging different players in every single week. So I think that might hurt you. But at the end of the day, your defense is still dominant. You haven't lost anybody. You still have Sauce back there. Honestly, those games where you're like, damn, we could have used Breece Hall. You may lose 1 or 2 down the road. I don't think it's too much of a loss. What about you, Italy?
I don't think this changes a damn thing because honestly, everything that happens in football and injuries around the sports, you know, there's always going to be an injury. There's always going to be one of your biggest stars going down at least every year. Look at John Harbaugh with the Ravens. He lost all 3 of his running backs and he brought in another 3 and they were just fine.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I've always been that type of guy, next man up. You got to replace AVT now. Got to replace Breece Hall. We did with James Robinson.
Yeah.
And now I don't think he's done. Joe D, if you've seen him the last 2 years on what he could do with this team, the sky's the limit. You're freaking telling me that you got a 6th-round pick to trade for James Robinson. I would have never thought that in a million years. And that was a Blake Cashman pick with that trade. So it's one of those things where I've always been that guy. Next man up, and we're not done the trading deadline. This doesn't change a thing. I still think we're on the right path. And if we can clear up the Elijah Moore thing, it's one of those things where the sky's the limit for this team. I said 9 wins, just like you were talking about before. I even said 10 wins at one point, but then when things kept going, I've always been back and forth with 7 to 8 to 9. Now I'm clear. I think it's definitely 9 wins. We got to capitalize on this Patriot game because, first off, there's always been bad blood with the Patriots and Jets. It's always been one of the biggest rivalries in sports.
We're not kneeling it on the 2-yard line. We're going for those 40 points. I don't know why the Bears were being nice. We're going for those 40 points.
I don't get it either. But the thing is, when it comes to the Patriots, they do have a pretty good defense. But the thing about that defense didn't say anything last night. We can beat this team. Definitely.
So I get what you're saying with the next man up, and I believe the same thing. When we originally drafted Breece Hall, manual the test, I was upset. Not because I didn't think Breece Hall was talented, but because I thought Michael Carter was good enough where we could have addressed another need.
Yeah.
Like, we could address another need because we already have Michael Carter. Let's not waste a 2nd-round pick on a running back.
Facts.
Now, obviously, Breece Hall ended up being light years better than I thought he would be. I thought he would be good, not this good. So I'm glad we got him.
Right.
But
me too.
Going back to what I originally thought, I still thought Michael Carter could be the featured back. Me still think that. When I found out that both Breece Hall and Farrah Tucker were both out, I said, please address the tackle before you address the running back because I feel like that's a bigger need for us right now. Now, I do think I am happy that we got James Robinson. Yeah. I do think that he's going to be productive. I know he's coming off that Achilles injury. I mean, if he was where he was his rookie season, I'm sure that the Jaguars wouldn't have given him up for a 6th-round pick. So obviously it's a gamble, but one that I'm happy that Joe Douglas took.
Right.
I am more worried about the offensive line.
Amen.
Because unless George Fant or Max Mitchell come back, I don't know if we can fill this. Like, I know that the Broncos have a good defense.
Yeah.
But Zach Wilson was running for his life yet again this past weekend.
Yes.
And it's starting to worry me that it's going to be to a point where if he doesn't have any clean pockets, I think for the rest of the season, we're going to be like, but can we really say that he's not good because he doesn't have these clean pockets? Do we know if he could be better if we had somebody protecting him? Now, one thing I will say about James Robinson is that one of the things that a lot of people talk about with him is that he's a great pass blocker. Yep. So he has that. That's a great thing to add to this team, obviously. But that has me worried because I don't know if we can – you know what? I do think we can get past this offensive line debacle. We've done it with the top 5 tackles already.
Yep.
Yes.
But it does have me more worried than the Breece Hall injury.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
And Italy, now I wanted to ask you.
What's up?
Everything that we just said about the offensive line, everything.
Yes.
Zach Wilson has not looked good. I mean, let's just put it the way it is. He hasn't looked good. Are you starting to worry about Zach Wilson?
I have been a Jets fan since I was 9
now.
years old. I have been a Jets fan since I was 9 years old, and I've never been sold on any of their quarterbacks except Testaverde, Pennington, Geno Smith, and Mark Sanchez.
Ooh,
I did not want Sam Darnold, Hackenberg. I don't even know why. And then Zach Wilson. I wanted Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and then I also wanted.
You wanted Josh Allen?
Hold on. And then I also wanted instead of Zach Wilson, Justin Fields. But here, hold on. Here's the thing though about that. I knew some stuff about Zach Wilson, but I didn't know completely because he's at BYU. I'm a University of Illinois fan and Alabama fan, so I can't I have to spread it out.
Yeah,
so with Zach Wilson, I didn't really know too much. I knew he had an arm, but it's got to transfer to the NFL, and you're into a New York market. Last decade, we haven't had a very successful QBs in the New York market. Fitzpatrick had a wonderful season that one
2015,
time,
yeah.
right? But overall, I like what I saw from Zach Wilson over the summer, but can he put it on the field? And right now, even though he is scrambling, that's not his fault. But he's scrambling so much because the offensive line sucks.
Right.
But the thing about it is, he's not even making the short passes anymore on the right or left side. He's slinging it down the field, and Corey Davis has to come back and for the throw. Like, it's one of those things where he's good at some moments, and he's good at none of the moments. I want more consistency, more spread out, and I'm still waiting on Zach Wilson if he's the guy, in my personal opinion.
I'm also starting to get worried. Now, I will say, to his credit, if it was Mike White or Joe Flacco behind center the last couple of games, I think we lose. Not because Zach Wilson has been more productive than they would be, but because his escapability in that pocket is superior to a lot of the way he gets out of pressure, and he's throwing the ball away. He's not forcing it down the field now. Like, I give him credit for avoiding turnovers, because what you want when you have a good defense and a good running game, protect the fucking ball. Make sure every drive ends in a kick, whether it be a kick, a field goal, an extra point, or a punt. Do not turn the ball over. And Zach Wilson has done that. So he has done at least that. But like you said, he is missing those easy passes. There's some that just have you pulling your hair out. So I am also worried about him in the long run, but I do want to see him play against a subpar defense, because you also have to take into account that last week he played against, I think it was the third best pass defense in the league. The week before that, the Packers, it's literally the best pass defense in the league. Coming up against the Patriots, I know that they lost because of the run game against the Bears, but I want to see what Zach Wilson can do against them, because they're middle of the pack. So you should be able to perform against middle of the pack. I don't care how bad your offensive line is. He has to look somewhat competent. Without Breece Hall there, he has to carry us to a win. And that's how I'm thinking. What do you think about that, Manny?
So in 2022, so far, he has 693 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with a QBR of 48.6. When I look at those numbers, I think of Tim Tebow passing wise.
No. But don't forget that he has 3 total touchdowns. He has a running touchdown and a receiving touchdown.
Listen, I'm not about to jump on your boy, because you already know.
Don't poo my boy.
I'm not, because you already know I've been a bigger fan of Zach Wilson at times than you have. My thing is, he was injured, right? I know people don't like using excuses. Oh, fuck you.
No, but he was.
He was injured.
You can't argue that.
Right. He didn't play in the preseason. Even in the preseason, the man was trying to do everything he can to get yards, and ultimately that's what cost him that injury. But again, missed the first 3 games of the season, playing some top-notch defenses, like Danny said. I think it's too soon to start poo-pooing on this guy from any fan base. I'm not going to go as far as Gunny said. Gunny was like, oh, this guy's playing lights out. Gunny, I don't know what games you've been watching. The man is not playing lights out.
Let's
relax for a little bit.
I do a show with him every Thursday.
Yeah,
and we constantly go back and forth with it, so I totally get it.
I will tell you this one stat, Danny, that you touched on. The one thing you appreciate about Tua is he's not going to put up huge numbers, but what do you like about him? That he takes care of the ball, and that's technically what Zach Wilson's doing right now. Right. So that's technically what Zach Wilson's doing for you right now. But ultimately, again, I'm not worried, because he doesn't have enough games under his belt to say this guy doesn't have it. I don't think you guys are there yet. And then ultimately, you still have a great defense. You still have a solid running game. Having those 2 factors on your team, you don't need him to win any games for you right now. So that opportunity hasn't come up for him yet.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
But overall, what I'm trying, and I agree with you, Finn. That's great analogy, and you're spot on with Zach Wilson. For me, I just want. It's kind of like I want the offense to just release him. Just release him. He has so much ability to run. This LaFleur offense is perfect for scrambling and everything else. I want to see Zach Wilson.
You want more like an RPO? You want more like an RPO offense for him? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Because the last 6 games last year, he did all kinds of things. Like he did. I didn't even think Zach Wilson could do that. That's the type of guy I want back, because if he can, I feel like knee injuries suck. You come back from an injury, that sucks. Like, you still got to get that rhythm back. But I still think that it's not yet to call for his head. I know everyone was calling for Ulbricht's head, but for me, if he
I was
can
calling
stay.
for Breece head.
He was.
Oh yeah, me
He
too.
was.
I get you. I get you.
Okay. Yeah.
I get you. But I had to eat that receipt because he's been doing well. He's been doing well with it.
Yes.
But for Zach Wilson, if you can just spread out a little bit more, get people the more ball, and actually make good decisions when he's scrambling like he did the last 6 games last year, then I think he'll be just fine. He has not played lights out. He's just getting back, and people love him. People want to play for him. You can't ask that enough. So I hope, knock on wood, that he just continues to grow. That's all.
My Zach Wilson is he's gonna have to perform well this Sunday because people are already calling for his job, right? People are already they're already throwing the white towel. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I say that he has to perform this week is because waiting for him after this week is the Bills.
Is this real quick before you
easier? Yeah.
Real quick before you finish that point, is this the majority of what you're saying, Jets fan, or is this what you hear all around the Twitter world?
No, I think Jets fans are being a lot more
for me.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
For me.
There are a lot of Jets fans that are getting tired of it, but I do see a lot of Jets fans that are still like, let's be patient.
Right.
Yes.
Now, outside of Jets fandom, everybody's killing them. Right?
Got it.
Everybody's talking shit to Jets fans, and I think that's why the defense mechanism is to defend him because you're attacking one of us. You worry about Tua, don't worry about us. You know.
Right.
So I think that's what happened now. But like what I was gonna say, he needs this Patriots game, and he needs it badly because this is a middle of the pack defense, and you have the Bills waiting for you the week after.
Mm-hmm.
So if you perform the way you have the last 2 weeks against top defenses, right? It's his fault, and at the same time, maybe not completely his fault.
Right. And
you don't show that you belong against the Patriots. You're not going to show that you belong against the Bills. Like that isn't going to be your coming out party. At least I don't think it. If it is, that's amazing.
No, that's a fair game.
I highly doubt that that's the coming out party. So you're going to have these last 2 games. You're going to have the Patriots. If he shits the bed against the Patriots, he has the Bills. I can't imagine it's going to go much better then. And then you have the bye week afterwards. That's going to be a long 2 weeks of that bye week with 4 weeks in a row where he's not playing up to par. So I think that's a tough sell. And then you have to go into New England after the bye week. So this is a must. Let me not say must win. He needs to perform at a high level this game. He needs to show that he has it. Not that he's the best, but that he has it. He can't go 8 for 20 with 103 yards. Like he can't do that again. Like he has to put up yards. He has to put up receptions. He has to spread the ball out. He has to run for first downs. He has to do a little bit of everything because everybody has to step up now that Breece Hall isn't there.
Agreed, 100%. Because when you're coming back home, okay, you're coming back home against a very rowdy Jets fan base that wants to win so bad against the Patriots and so bad the whole entire year. You have an opportunity now that they're struggling to pounce and capitalize on. You're going to get Elijah Moore back. We just need to see what he's made of after coming off, whatever he's got going on last week. Zach Wilson, not only do they need to release him and tell him, okay, we were cautious. They're doing the caution game.
Yeah.
Now that he's doing all this other stuff, scrambling a lot, missed throws, and I understand he might get hurt with those kind of things, and it's scary for a Jets fan because we don't want to go back to Flacco or White. But right now, they need to release him. They need to just let him go, and hopefully, because of that Breece Hall absence and the AVT absence, it'll get the job done.
I like that you brought that up, especially with saying that Elijah Moore will be back. I know what Danny's 2 cents, and I'm dying to hear somebody else's 2 cents because I've heard from Gunny how he felt about the situation.
Yeah, Gunny's hardcore about it. It's funny.
When Elijah Moore, that initial tweet came out by Ian Rappaport that he wanted out, right? This is a 2-part question for you. First, what was your initial thought of what you thought about this guy wanting out already, only into his second season? And the second part is his major gripe with the Jets organization is you're not using him right. So being that he is going to be back, do you think they're going to start using him right all of a sudden?
First off, I saw it coming with this whole Elijah Moore thing. Everything that's coming out, I was not surprised whatsoever.
Really?
If you look at the OTAs, if you look at training camp, if you look at all the take flight and all the other behind the scenes stuff, you can tell he was just not there. Like his attitude changed so much from last year to this year. There's so many people in his ears. Like you got AJ Brown, and not only that, it's like his friends are DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel. They're all represented by the same agent. So it's one of those things where this doesn't surprise me at all with the attitude switch, because I understand he wants to do for his family and everything. That's fine, but his attitude just kept changing and changing. Sure. And that Packers game and Steelers game really set him off. Do I think it's bullshit? Yes, I think it is BS. But overall, are we – that answer your first question. Yep. The second question, are we using him right? I'm 50-50 about it.
Okay.
Because I think he needs to be a little bit more patient because he's 23 years old.
For sure.
We have a lot of weapons. We haven't had much weapons like this in a very long time, and I still think you just need to be more patient. Now, are we using him correctly? Yes and no, because he needs to be in the slot. He needs to be in the slot. That's what he was at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, DK on the left. You got A.J. Brown on the right. He was in the slot. If you can use him more in the slot, but they've been using Berrios and Wilson in the slot a lot more than more. So it's one of those things where if you can move him to a slot, make him happy with some passes, and get him going. I mean, if Mahomes is a crappy – well, one of them, I think, crappy wide receivers, but he makes it work. Yeah. He still gets it into their hands. So it's one of those things where if Zach Wilson can't do that, I totally get that he wants to go to another team. But at the same time, this dude's 23. He needs to be patient.
Yeah.
He needs to be patient. His time is coming. And we are winning. If we were losing, then I would understand. But we're winning. So
fair point.
It's like what the hell, dude? What the hell? For him.
Danny?
No, I understand why he's frustrated. Look, winning or not, you're frustrated if you feel like they're misusing you. Yes. Like if Allen Iverson's forced to play power forward, but they're winning, he's like, but damn, I don't want to bang with these big bodies because it makes absolutely no sense. You have Elijah Moore running down the sideline, going for jump balls in the end zone over 6-foot cornerbacks. It makes absolutely no sense. He needs to be in the slot. So I understand why he's frustrated. Do I think him asking for a trade made absolutely any sense? No. You just named all his boys. You named DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Deebo Samuels. They all asked for contracts, but they all asked for contracts after they had proven that they earned these contracts. He hasn't proven anything yet. So I don't understand.
He doesn't look comfortable.
He doesn't.
He hasn't spoken to his agent, because I refuse to believe that a professional agent would have suggested, yes, go ahead and ask for a trade. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
He's half-assing it. He's half-assing it the whole time.
For sure.
But I do think they could use him better. The jet sweeps that they keep running with Braxton Berrios, you could run that with Elijah Moore. Like, you could do it. I'm not saying that you have to. Braxton Berrios is doing great with it, but Elijah Moore can be used in other creative ways. Screen passes. There's plenty of things you can use with him, but they keep putting him out on the outside, and they're running go routes with him. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well, that's my point. That's my point to both of you is, if you've seen this so far, what are you, 5-2 right now?
Yeah.
You're about to be 8 games into the season. Why do you believe it's going to change now when they against the Patriots? Why do you think he's going to go into the slot? Do you think all of a sudden, all right, well, shit, we're stupid. We've been doing it wrong for 7 weeks. Now we're going to do it right week 8?
Okay, so I don't – that's what I wish that they would do.
Right.
Are they going to do it?
Yeah.
Who knows if they're going to do it. But that's what needs to happen to make not only he can develop into the player that I know that they want him to be.
Yeah.
Because he's a first-round pick talent. If he goes to another team, he probably is going to flourish and be really good. Like Mahomes, Allen, and
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
exactly. If you put him in that type of position, he will be a number one. But the thing about that is with the Jets is he's got a lot of competition, and I get that. But at the same time, Moore, if he goes to the slot,
he's better than Wilson, and he's better than Berrios. He should be dominating that slot position. As far as
I don't know about Wilson.
Listen. From the slot position, I think he'd be a better fit at the slot position than either of those guys. Is my point.
I agree with you on that.
Not outside receivers, as a slot position, that speed.
Yes.
Danny, you compared him to having a Tyreek Hill type speed. If he has,
I didn't say speed. Nobody has Tyreek Hill speed. I said he is a poor man's Tyreek Hill. Look, Italy, just so you know, so you can kind of frame what he's saying, so I don't like an idiot.
Yeah.
When Tyreek Hill was, for those 3 hours that he was available, I told Manny, I do not want Tyreek Hill on the Jets. I have I have Elijah Moore. Yes, I know he is nowhere near Tyreek Hill's skill level, but he
Correct.
gives me the same type of player.
And that's my
speedy
point.
guy that plays on the inside. So, yes, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill's speed. He doesn't have Tyreek Hill's
but he's quick.
ability.
He's quick.
He
He can get behind the defense, and he's better than
He's
Barrios.
a
Is my
playmaker.
point.
Yes.
Barrios stealing those Barrios stealing those slot wide receiver, the minimal plays that are coming in from Elijah Moore. I'd be pissed off too. Braxton Barrios should not be stealing my snaps at slot wide receiver. That's just my point to that one.
Corey Davis went down. I don't know if Corey Davis is going to be playing this week, but if he isn't, Wilson's going to be playing a lot more on the outside. Now that Corey Davis is out, and Elijah Moore is going to slide into that slot. One way or another, he's going to be in that slot. I feel pretty confident that if he comes back, how much you want to bet that the first play of the game is a slant route to Elijah Moore?
I'll take that bet.
You want to put it down now? You want to put it on now?
No,
Oh,
I'm poor. I can't bet. I can't bet.
I can't bet. But I was about to say the same thing because I just hate how all the timing, it was too good. It was just too good. The Jets fans, us, it was just too good. I knew something was going to go wrong. I'm surprised Fant didn't complain. Okay, I'm surprised Fant didn't complain because of all the flip flopping he's been doing with the offensive line, and then Quentin Williams though with that scuff up with Olbrook. I'm surprised he hasn't done anything. But it's because these guys have been around for a little bit and they know when to take their shot. Elijah Moore has a lot of bad intel going in his years, and he's 23 years old. So it's one of those things where I get it, but dude, you got to learn from that, man. You can't look like a fool.
For sure.
But I'm glad you brought that up because we just said that. Do we think that Elijah Moore, what he just did, would really change the way they use him? And to that point, what you just said about Quentin Williams, when he had that dust up on the sideline, it was because he said that they were blitzing too much, that they should just let the 4-man rush. Since that game, we blitzed the least of any team in the league. So they made the change.
Yes,
and
they did.
So maybe Elijah Moore does get what he wants. Maybe he does get put in the slot. Maybe they change the way they use him. Maybe they get a little more creative. We don't know. Maybe this works out kind of like the Quentin Williams thing did. I don't think he gets traded before the trade deadline. That's for sure.
No, he ain't gonna get traded. If they do, it would have to be something juicy. Because Joe D ain't gonna trade him unless it's like a first-round pick or something.
You guys have a hell of a GM. I don't see how you guys trade Elijah Moore either.
Yeah, I mean, look what Mims pressed the trade. He's not gone. That's his boy.
Right.
I feel kind of bad for Mims, honestly, but yeah.
Oh, I do too. But the thing is, he wasn't really that great in the beginning, and then he got food poisoning. It's just a lot of things happen.
Danny, talking about something that Joe Douglas is great at is putting a team together so far. And one thing he's done great is putting this defense together. Sauce Gardner had another awesome game. 10 total tackles, 9 solo by himself. DJ Reed, CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams. Quentin Williams being disrupted down that middle. My God, like I said, if you're going to win games, you go with the old adage, defense wins championships.
Amen.
You guys are playing some pretty good freaking football on that defensive side of the ball.
Yes, we are.
It's been a few weeks now that I've been saying that we're going to use the formula that they used in 2009. And I feel like every passing week, it holds more and more true.
Yeah.
It's all defense and running game. Special teams also. Our special teams has been kicking ass this year. We've been doing so. And Greg the Leg, man, I killed him after week 1.
He did.
Since then, I've been in that seat also.
So there you go.
He killed him week 1, and he was killing Robert Saleh as well week 1. Just throwing that out there, sir.
Well, our defense looked like ass week 1. So our special teams has been great. Our defense has been great. Our running game has been great.
Yep.
The only thing missing is the passing
quarterback
game, right?
play.
Exactly.
And
in the tight end. In tight end usage.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Tyler Conklin, I felt like he started off the season really good. It was one of Danny's sleepers as far as fantasy goes. He goes, I think Tyler Conklin is going to get a lot of balls thrown his way because he's the better catching tight end. He's gone off the last 2 weeks.
Hasn't done anything.
Right. The last 2 weeks, Tyler Conklin is a little bit less used, but I think that's more because of what the defense was bringing. But ultimately, Tyler Conklin has looked good this season as well.
Good blocker, though. Uzama's a good blocker.
Yes. Well, I always figured that he'd be the blocking tight end. Yeah. In 2009, we were protecting Mark Sanchez, right? Just don't turn the ball over, make plays when you have to. And I think, unfortunately, because of the last 2 weeks, it's recency bias, right? We forget that that Zach Wilson can make some plays, right? He made some great passes that Steelers game to win the game, right? he's made good plays. Obviously, the last 2 games have been horrible. I hope that he comes back on Sunday and shows what he can do again. What you just need him to do, the Mark Sanchez. That's it. Do the Mark Sanchez, protect the ball, and then 3rd and 6, convert a quick pass to first down. Run for a first down like he did this past week, and he ran for like 19 yards. Those are the small things that we need him to do so you could just rely on the defense and the running game to win the games. Now that Breece Hall is not here, I don't know how effective our running game is. I'd like to think that it still will be as effective because of Michael Carter and James Robinson. But that I don't.
And Bam Knight.
You know what? I thought that Bam Knight was going to be the guy that, because James Robinson, he's coming off of an Achilles injury. Like, I don't know how effective he's going to be. Like, I know that his rookie season, he broke the record for most scrimmage yards by an undrafted rookie ever.
Yeah.
So I know that he has it in him. But after an Achilles injury, and he literally tore his Achilles less than a year ago. It's not like it's been more than a year. It was like week 16 against us that he did. So I don't know if that's enough time for him to be as productive as we're hoping he's going to be. Again, it was a gamble worth taking. But I don't know how this running game is going to look. What do you think, Italy? Do you think the running game is going to be what it's been with Breece Hall now that he's gone?
I think we're. Well, first off, Michael Carter. Everyone was always like, "Oh, Breece is so much better. Michael Carter ain't nothing." And I'm like, no. Michael Carter did just fine his rookie year.
Yes,
he did everything we wanted him to do and what we brought him in here for. Yep. It's just, here's the thing with Michael Carter. He does better with a 2 running back set. That's what he did with Williams, with the Broncos. Where they went to North Carolina, right? Or was it?
Yes.
North Carolina.
No, North Carolina. North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. Carter and Williams were some of the best running backs in college because of their duo. They were really good. So it's Carter does better in a 2-man set, and I think he's going to be that number 1 like he was. And then James Robinson, he is coming off an injury, but I really do think he's going to fit in really well. Don't give Ty Johnson anything. I don't want him in there. If anything happens, put Bam Knight in there. Bam Knight should have been already on the team in the first place.
Well, he's active now.
He is active now. Is this going to change anything though? I think they're gonna go both ways. I think they're gonna throw it and they're gonna run it a lot. I think they're gonna do both. I hope, but I think that they should.
I think before we move on to obviously start looking at the Patriots, Danny, one of the points you made was we just need Zach Wilson to convert that 3rd and 6. I personally believe that with Michael Carter, with James Robinson, with the play calling they've done up till now, I think you guys are going to get into a lot of 3rd and manageable positions where he just has to hit that quick pass, like you said, Elijah Moore in the slot, catching that quick ball, Braxton Berrios in the slot, catching a quick ball. I think it looks bad from the outside looking in, losing Breece Hall. We all get that. I don't think it's going to be that much of a drop-off having Michael Carter as your lead back.
I think that they're not going to rely on the running game as heavily as they did the last couple games, and I think Zach's going to get a lot more opportunities to throw the ball down.
Which is what you guys.
I think it'll be a lot more balanced. Yeah,
exactly.
Because it got to a point where it wasn't very balanced. I felt like we were just being productive on the run only, and I think Zach's going to get a lot more opportunities. So we'll see how that goes.
I hope so. Yeah.
So now to the fun part. It's Patriots week. The last more than 2 decades have been utter domination.
Yep.
So I wanted to see how bad the domination was. So I went back and I looked. Since Tom Brady took over for Drew Bledsoe that one faithful Sunday
that was
September of 2001. Thank you, Mo Lewis. Yes, I know.
Yep.
Love Mo Lewis. Since that game, we've played the Patriots 43 times. Now, I'd like you guys to each just take a guess if you don't know the answer already.
Okay.
How many times have we lost to the Patriots in the last 43 games?
How many times you've lost? How many times you've won?
Yes. How many times have we lost?
Out of 42 games?
43
games. I'm going to say out of 43 games, you lost 20 of them.
Okay.
What about you, Italy?
Italy, what do you think?
That's actually exactly what I was going to say.
Okay, so out of the last 43 games, you thought we lost 20 of them.
Yeah.
Out of the last 43 times that we've played the New England Patriots with Bill Belichick, we have lost 35 of those 43 games.
Jesus Christ.
They have utterly dominated the New York Jets. And that's going to make it all the sweeter when we finally get some payback this Sunday and finally pow their ass. We haven't beat them since 2015. The last time that we beat them without having to go to overtime was in 2010.
Yep.
They have completely demolished us. But 'tis a new day, Manny. I would like to know, how are you feeling about this game for the Jets this weekend against the Patriots?
Coming into, before I watched that putrid Monday Night Football game and saw the debacle. Listen, how much crap were we talking about the Chicago Bears on yesterday's show?
Yes, a lot.
Tons. We're like, nobody respects the Bears. Nobody should respect the Bears. Then I saw what the Bears did to the Patriots. We're both in the same division, so granted, I thought it was the sweetest thing in the world watching, because now they've given us sole possession of third place right now. So I don't think there's a window that I've ever enjoyed as much as this Bill Belichick losing Tom Brady, because it's so sweet to watch a team that dominated us just the same over and over again for so many years, to see them not be the whole Patriot way. So when I was watching that game, I was like, wow, I thought better of this defense. I've never been a fan of Mac Jones. Italy, I don't know if you've been a fan of Mac Jones, but I never believed in the hype. I think they were taking care of him. Bill Belichick was taking care of him with the way he was play calling, with the way the defense was playing last year. I think that's why he looked good. Ultimately, Danny, I'm kind of trying to agree with you here. I think that you guys are going to give him the schmackings this upcoming Sunday.
I like it. What about you, Italy?
I'm a huge fan of Mac Jones because of the Alabama. Because the Alabama is Alabama.
Oh, okay. You like Tua also, don't you?
Alabama. Wait, I do, but here's the thing.
Okay.
I think he is. I think he got screwed over too much with Miami in the way they've been using him and playing him.
Fair enough.
With the injury stuff.
Fair enough.
I just don't think he's like the best. I don't think he's like up there yet. I think he has potential. But
let me touch on it because you brought it up, and then I'll let you get back to the Patriots. Do you think Tua, as great as he looked, and granted, listen, I didn't want him.
When the fuck has he looked great?
Can you relax? Can you relax? Can you relax? Let me finish my statement here. When Tua looked great, he was at Alabama with first-round defense, first-round running backs, first-round wide receivers. Like, the guy was littered with talent around him. So how could you not look great? So my point is to people is, well, you got to draft Tua. Look how amazing. How could he not look amazing? Look at the powerhouse he was playing for. But ultimately, when the Dolphins drafted him, listen, I'd rather die with whoever's on my team. Maybe except Ted Ginn Jr. That's a whole nother story for another day.
Oh, yeah.
But, sir, do you honestly think that Tua is better than Mac Jones, or do you feel that Mac Jones is better than Tua? Before you touch on the Patriots,
I'm gonna do a 180.
Okay.
I think Hurts is better than both of them.
Ooh.
I'm a huge Hurts fan. Tua is a close second. Mac Jones is a third. Tua had the right tools, and he can run, and he had all kinds of people around him at Alabama, including Jalen Hurts. I just think they just kind of screwed him over just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why I went to Oklahoma. But I knew Hurts was going to be a good quarterback in the NFL when you put him around people like Devontae Smith, the Alabama connection, and just like Waddle with Tua. It's even paying off with Burrow and Chase, and then even Lawrence with NTN.
Solid points.
Your boys help lift you up when you've had like 4 or 5 years history with them. Tua just can't really throw the ball that well, in my opinion. He runs well, and he does a lot of good short passes. But once he's on a good team, he can shine. Does he do it all the time? No.
Well, he hasn't. In all fairness, he hasn't had a good team in Miami yet. Just throwing that out there.
Exactly, and I do understand that. But overall, he's not really proven to me that he's up there yet.
All right, fair enough. No more Dolphin talk. But you have to feel.
Thank God.
After watching the debacle that happened on Monday Night Football with the Patriots facing the Chicago Bears, what's your outlook coming into Sunday regarding this Patriots team?
I was only worried. I'm gonna go a little bit back. I was only worried with the Packers defense, and I was only worried with the Broncos defense.
Okay.
It's the same thing again. I'm worried about the Patriots defense, only their front line, and maybe a little bit of their linebackers. But I think we can blow past their safeties and blow past the corners. But that's the only thing I'm worried about. Their offense. Okay, yeah. There's like really nothing. You know who you have? Myers, and then Henry's always injury prone, and you don't know if John Smith, 81 is going to come alive. If Zappy's in the game, I mean, that does spark a little bit for them.
Yeah.
But because Jones is just from that injury, man, he's just declining so much. There is a quarterback controversy in there. But overall, no, we are going to beat the living crap out of them.
Shit.
I want to beat the living crap out of them. I have been in St. Louis for so long, and I have Patriots fans around me, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bears. This is the year that we kick their asses. I believe it. I really believe that we will. But is it going to happen? We'll have to find out. The only thing that sucks is MetLife. We don't do really well at MetLife. So I'm so far this season. So I just hope that we come back home, rejuvenated Moore, rejuvenated Wilson, and kick the living crap out of them.
Can I go ahead and jump on the prediction right now? Because he got me hyped. Here's what I think. And we talked with Fireman Ed a couple of weeks ago, Danny, and he said, no, forget the whole same old Jets. I think what worked in 2009, relying on that strong defense, relying on your running game, I think that's what's going to give this New England Patriots the fits, because the Bears do have a solid defense, and they showed yesterday they have a great running game. Apparently, the Patriots have an issue with that. So I do see Michael Carter having a really good game against the New England Patriots. I do see Zach Wilson taking care of the ball. Is he going to have a lights-out game? I don't think he's ready to have a lights-out game. But you know what I do see? I see your defense dominating the shit out of Zappy and Mac Jones, regardless of which one plays. I see Sauce Gardner having another pick. I see Quentin Williams getting to the quarterback a lot. Dude, I'm going to give you guys 24, and you beat the Patriots with 10 points.
Yo, that was mine. 25-10. Yes, that was mine. I'm with you.
Well, I'm glad to hear the confidence. Now, before we keep going with the confidence.
The confidence that I have is in your defense, because you can say what you want. Anybody outside of the circle could say what they want about your offense, but the defense has played legit every single game. You guys, outside that Browns game where I don't know what the hell was going on there, your defense has played great ball. Sauce is looking good every single game into the NFL.
Thank you, Houston. Thank you, Houston.
That's where the hype is coming from for me.
I couldn't believe that because supposedly Stingley is a better zone defender. Thank you, Houston. Like you said, that's all that matters. So what I was going to say is the Patriots, after yesterday, everybody's like, oh my God, the Bears kicked their ass. We should be able to put up a bunch of points on them. Let's not forget that the Lions offensively were looking hot. And then the Patriots came and they put up a 0. They shut them out. Yep. How that happened, I have absolutely no idea. But the Lions were looking like one of the best offenses in the league and got completely shut out by Bill Belichick.
For sure.
So because Bill Belichick is unfortunately still walking with that goddamn hoodie on that sideline, I still don't feel confident in our offense. But
neither do I. But I do feel confident about your defense and your running
game. Exactly.
Our defense, I have absolutely no doubt that our defense can stop whatever the hell they're throwing out there. I am 100% sure that if Mac Jones starts the game, he won't finish the game. Not because of injury, which is also a possibility, but because Zippy, Zappy, Zoopy, whatever his name is, he was going to come in at some point to replace Mac Jones, and I think that we're going to shut him out also. I have no doubt that our defense is going to – and before I give you my prediction, coming into this season, there were 2 games that you almost knew for sure that the Jets were going to lose. The Patriots game and any game that we were supposed to win, right? That's how it went. Like if there was a game where we're like, oh, you're playing against what were the Bengals at the time? They were like 0-11, and then we went and we played against them and we were their first win. So any game that the Jets are supposed to win or the Patriots game are guaranteed losses for us. And this year somehow we ended up with both those situations on the same Sunday.
Yeah.
We're supposed to beat the Patriots and we're playing against the Patriots. And this is the Sunday that you prove that you're not the same old Jets. We're going to put those 2 things to rest. We're going to put those 2 things to rest this Sunday. I think that we win. I think we put up 27 points. I think we keep them to 10 points. and I think it's going to be a 17-point win.
If Miami can do it against Buffalo and Patriots can go down like they've been going down, why not the Jets? This is our year to just figure it out down the road, keep growing that chemistry, and be with them every step of the way, because we're such a good fourth quarter team.
Yes, we are. We have the highest point differential in the fourth quarter. You had me into the Dolphins analogy, though. You lost me.
I understand, but hey, Dolphins did beat the Bills. Like, I mean, they did.
Yeah. You're right.
It always comes down to 0-0-0 every time. Any given Sunday, it doesn't matter. With a flag, with a penalty, with an injury, changes the game all the time.
I'll tell you this, Danny, and I already know that Italy's going to go Jets 25-10. We'll get his thoughts on what he thinks is going to happen. But I know we're jumping ahead, but just a quick bite on that. The defense is what beat the Buffalo Bills. Bending, and eventually not letting them into the end zone. Again, we're not picking that game yet. We'll talk about it next week. But the way your defense is playing, I don't see why not. I'm just saying. But Italy, go ahead and hit me with it, man. What do you think about obviously you said 25-10 for this upcoming week. What else do you see happening in this game?
Honestly, I think Sauce. I think they're just going to be. They're just. I mean, they're all sick and tired of people calling them out. They're sick and tired of like saying same old Jets. I think this is going to be a spark. I really do. I feel it. I've always said that we were going to win like some games and then not win some games. But right now, looking at the schedule, this is a game you should beat. This is a game on paper that you should beat.
Yeah.
We couldn't say that about the Jets a long time ago. We couldn't say that about them. If you want to be a good team, you got to capitalize on the teams to beat that you should beat. And this is a game that you should beat. Sauce Gardner, I want an interception again. I want the whole stadium to go crazy when that happens. And I want Wilson to get that touchdown. But you know what's going to be interesting is the fourth quarter going last to 5 minutes. I think Carter is going to run it in for a touchdown. Last 5 minutes of the game, Carter's going to get us to that 25.
I like it.
Elijah Moore is going to run a hitch route inside the 5-yard line. He's going to catch a touchdown this week.
I can see that too.
I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, this is the game to get it right. This is the drama-free game. Let's hope. I mean, I get that.
The final point before you lead us out, Danny, the whole not playing well at MetLife Stadium. I think the fact that you guys are bringing home a 5-2 record, that Jets fan base is going to be.
Oh, it's already sold out.
Nice.
The levels. Fireman Ed will be cheering up.
Sold out.
Everybody.
We're wearing all black, and to the point that we're wearing all black. If we were to lose on Sunday, I promise you, we will be wearing white tops and black pants the rest of the season if we lose on Sunday. I guarantee it, because we are undefeated with that outfit. So the first game we get away from it, if we lose, we're sticking with it for the rest of the year.
I like it.
All right. Well, thank you again, Italy Jet, for joining us. When is it that you stream your podcast so you could some of the people listening that haven't watched you yet?
So me and Liam do shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Everything MYJ. We do TFC Midwest Podcast on Friday nights. I do a show with Gunny Gumby on Thursday nights and with Jude Jets on Thursday nights as well. The Jet Show, I do a show with him on Saturday nights. And then I have an Italy post-game show on Sundays with Harrison Glazer and the Jet Show. Follow me on all social media platforms and Everything MYJ. Appreciate it, guys. This was fun.
It was fun.
No, we appreciate you. And Manny, thank you as always for joining me on another victory episode. Hopefully I'm talking shit next week also, because it's always fun when I get to talk shit.
Yep.
Amen.
All right. Well, we will catch you guys next week. And thank you for listening. Go Jets.
Deuces.